Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I hope all of you will be fine. Today we are going to discuss about solid phase synthesis and its basic principles in the course of organic synthesis. As we are studying this course for the synthesis of organic molecules through the retro-analysis, so there is another part of the synthesis that is named as solid phase synthesis. These are the key points which we are going to discuss in this lecture. First of all, there is an introduction of solid phase synthesis, its history, basic principles, an overview of solid phase organic synthesis, while the properties of solid supports or the swellings of the resin and linkers and the advantages of disadvantages of the solid phase organic synthesis will be discussed in next lecture, in this lecture. Introduction. First of all, what is solid phase synthesis? This is a new technique. Actually, the idea of solid phase synthesis is simple. In this, the substrate molecules or the building blocks that have two functional groups are used, and these molecules are attached to a polymer solid support material in which the intended chemical reaction is carried out in step-by-step synthesis, while using through the selective protecting group chemistry. Actually, in this technique or in this synthesis, the substrates which have two different functional groups or at two sides of the molecule, these are used for the synthesis of long chain molecules, and one of the two functional groups is bound to a solid support. That solid support could be polymeric material or a resin. We will discuss it in the next slides. And the other functional group is protected with a suitable protecting group. While you have learned about the protecting groups, how these are used to protect a particular functional group, and how they can be hydrolyzed back, and or how they can be removed from the functional group. While at the end of the reaction, when the reaction is completed, the excess reagents are washed off. There are no specific workup in this technique to do the solvent extraction or any other type of workup that is required in solvent synthesis, the organic synthesis using the different solvents. History and application of solid phase synthesis. Here I will tell you about a little bit about the history of the solid phase synthesis, from where it originated. Actually, the process of solid phase synthesis was originally developed in 1950s and 1960s by Robert Bruce Merrifield in order to synthesize the peptide chains, and which was the basis for his Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1984. Actually, Bruce Merrifield was trying to synthesize the peptide chains, and he used a solid support that was a polymeric material. Actually, that was a cross-linked polymeric material in which different monomers were used to construct that cross-linked polymeric material. The as the peptide chains were introduced synthesized through the amino acids, uh, he applied that amino acids on the solid support or the polymeric material, and then the other part of the uh, amino acid was protected with the protecting group. Then when the other amino acid come in contact with the first amino acid, the protecting group was removed and a coupling reaction take place. We will discuss this whole synthesis in much detail in the synthesis of oligomeric compounds. While this method is used for the synthesis of peptides, DNA, RNA, and other molecules that need to be synthesized in certain alignment. Actually, this technique has certain benefits. These benefits are compared with normal synthesis in the liquid state and include high efficiency and throughput, increased simplicity and speed. Actually, this method is very simple and highly efficient in order to synthesize the long chain or oligomeric compounds, especially for those oligomeric type compounds. Although this technique is also used for the synthesis of small molecules, which we will discuss in the next lecture. And this reaction wash cycle is repeated again and again until the synthesis is ready. And at the end of the synthesis, the product is cleaved from the solid support or from the polymeric resin. Basic principles of solid phase synthesis. Actually, the solid phase synthesis typically involves the use of a resin, and that resin could be a non-soluble polymeric based material. It is pre-functionalized to bind the starting building block. As I have already told you that cross-linked polymer or multi-monomers are used to synthesize that polymeric material, and that polymer is used in the form of the beads. And if a compound containing more than two kind of building blocks is synthesized, then a compound having more than two functional groups, one of the functional group is generally protected while the other is attached onto the resin. Actually, in this what happens, the substrate comes to the polymer and get attached with that polymer, and after that attachment this polymer will helps for the coupling reaction to carry on speedily and to complete the reaction in very good reaction time. And once they are added onto the resin, when the monomer or the first substrate gets attached onto the resin, the other functional group is deprotected and treated with the next desired building block in the solution. Actually, in this what happens, as I have told you with the example of the amino acids or the peptide synthesis, one part, as you know the structure of the amino acids, the C terminal which contains the carboxylic group, that C terminal gets attached with the polymeric resin as on the solid support, and the other part, that is N terminal, that contains the NH2 group. That NH2 group is protected by a suitable protecting group, and when this one amino acid, or we can say AA1, is attached on the polymer or on the solid support, when the other amino acid, that can be called as AA2, the second amino acid comes in contact with the first amino acid, the protection of NH2 or the protecting group of NH2 is removed. It is deprotected, so that the first amino acid can react with the upcoming amino acid through the amine group. So the NH2 group is deprotected and treated with the next desired building block in solution. On synthesis, when all the amino acids get aligned in the form of peptide chains, on synthesis, the desired molecule can easily be cleaved from the resin either through hydrolysis. That hydrolysis could be acid hydrolysis or a base hydrolysis. It depends on the conditions that are required. This is the graphical overview of the solid phase organic synthesis. You can see in the first step the image that is rounded or circled, that is the solid support, and X is the functional group or the substrate that is attached with the uh, solid support. Here we can also use a linker. Linker is somewhat between the substrate and the polymeric resin. It plays a very important part to become compatible between the substrate and the polymeric material or the solid support. Here you can see when the solid support is attached to the X through the linker. This group will react with the YR or the library of precursors. Means different precursors will get attached or will couple to that resin, and in the next step that protecting group or the linker attached with the R group, that R group is changed or become a long chain. After that you can see library construction, means step by step the next functional groups or the next amino acids or the reagents get attached, and at the end of that step the at the last step the YR is released as the library, and we get the final product that does not contain the linker or the solid sport. After the final step, that solid sport will also be cleaved from the uh, final product. The properties of solid supports for solid phase organic synthesis. First, as I have discussed about the linkers, actually the purpose of the linker is to provide a reversible linkage between the synthetic peptide chain and the solid support, and to protect the C-terminal alpha carboxyl group during the process of chain extension. The choice of linker determines the C-terminal functional group in the final product. Most linkers are designed to release peptide acids or amides upon treatment with trifluoroacetic acid, with the concentration of trifluoroacetic acid required to affect the cleavage, dictating whether the product is released in a fully deprotected form or still retaining the acid sensitive side chain protecting groups. Actually, linkers play a very important role for the compatibility between the substrate and the solid sport. Now come towards the properties of the solid sport for solid phase organic synthesis. The properties of the solid phase used to support a chemical reaction are of great importance. The solid phase can be considered as an extra phase in which the reaction takes place, as most of the active sites of a resin are typically inside the bead. The polymeric material, which is formed after cross-linking of different monomers, that is used in the form of a bead, and that is porous. That's why, as it is porous, the reagent, the substrate's functional group, which is attached onto the substrate, the rest of the molecule gets diffused into that bead. New parameters such as the ability of the reagent to diffuse into the bead and reactions with the polymer framework must therefore be taken into consideration. The typical resins used in solid phase synthesis today are based on the cross-linked polystyrene resin originally developed by Merrifield. Actually, during the peptide synthesis, the Bruce Merrifield designed or synthesized the polystyrene resin. I will discuss the composition of that resin in the next lecture. Resin beads of suitable size for reaction purposes were originally obtained by grinding down the polymerized product, but more uniform spherical beads are obtained nowadays by suspension polymerization, where the beads polymerizes as a suspension in an inert media. With a careful choice of reaction conditions, a high degree of control over the bead size can be obtained. Typically, the bead size of dry beads is in the range of 0.04 to 0.15 millimeter. However, for certain purposes, a large bead size, so-called macro beads, is also feasible. These are the properties of polymeric material, solid spot material. These solid spots are synthesized by grinding the polymers or monomers or through the suspension polymerization. While discussing the properties of the resins or polymers in the solid phase synthesis, here is very important to discuss about the behavior or swelling of resins. When one of the most important parameters of resin is the ability of the beads to expand in a solvent used for the reaction, so allowing efficient diffusion of reagents to reactive sites. This property is referred to as bead swelling, as the bead size increases dramatically in such a favorable solvent. एक्चुअली बेटा होता क्या है, वो पॉलीमर जो क्रॉस लिंक्ड पॉलीमर हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं एज अ सॉलिड सपोर्ट, दैट इज़ पोरस एंड दैट इज़ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ बीड. हम बीड की फॉर्म में से यूज़ करते हैं और वो पोरस होता है, चूँकि जैसे ही हम उसे किसी रिएक्शन के सॉल्वेंट में डालते हैं तो वो स्वेल हो जाता है. स्वेल होके जो हमारा सबस्ट्रेट है, जो फर्स्ट मॉलिक्यूल है सबस्ट्रेट का, जैसे ही वो आके उसके ऊपर अटैच होता है, रेस्ट ऑफ द मॉलिक्यूल गेट्स डिफ्यूज्ड. वो उसके अंदर डिफ्यूज़ हो जाता है मॉलिक्यूल, ताकि रिएक्शन के लिए साइट अवेलेबल हो जाए. वो सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल गेट डिफ्यूज्ड इनटू दैट बीड. इस वजह से इस पॉलीमर की स्वेलिंग या करवाना ज़रूरी है. Most of the active sites in a resin bead are placed inside the resin. अब ये वही बात है कि जैसे ही सबस्ट्रेट रेजन के अंदर परकोलेट होता है या डिफ्यूज होता है, उसके अंदर एक्टिव साइट्स मौजूद होती हैं टू कैरी ऑन द रिएक्शन, मीनिंग दैट द एबिलिटी ऑफ द रिएजेंट्स टू एंटर द रेजन इज क्रूशियल. यहाँ पे एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है कि उस रेजन के अंदर जो रिएजेंट्स डिफ्यूज़ करेंगे वो बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है. अगर तो इफ़ द पॉलीमर इज सफिशिएंटली swollen, reaction rates with reasonably known polar reagents are usually not डिफ्यूजन कंट्रोल्ड एंड देयरफॉर इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ बीड साइज। ये कंडीशंस हैं बेटा कि अगर नॉन पोलर रिएजेंट्स यूज़ करेंगे तो उसमें डिफ्यूजन कंट्रोल नहीं हो सकेगी एंड दीज आर इंडिपेंडेंट ऑफ द बीड साइज। अब हम बात करेंगे डिग्री ऑफ क्रॉस लिंकिंग की, कि वो जो हमारा पॉलीमर है उसके अंदर कितनी क्रॉस लिंकिंग होनी चाहिए। अगर तो बहुत ज़्यादा क्रॉस लिंकिंग होगी तो स्वेलिंग कैसी होगी, अगर कम क्रॉस लिंकिंग होगी तो स्वेलिंग कैसी होगी। अ लोअर डिग्री ऑफ क्रॉस लिंकिंग विल इंक्रीज द स्वेलिंग। अगर तो क्रॉस लिंकिंग कम है तो स्वेलिंग ज़्यादा होगी, but this tends to decrease the mechanical stability of the beads. अगर स्वेलिंग बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई है तो वो बीड इतना स्टेबल नहीं रहेगा, बहुत ज़्यादा स्वेल हो गया है तो वो डिस्ट्रॉय हो सकता है। while higher degree of cross linking will decrease the swelling. अब स्वेलिंग अगर और बहुत ज़्यादा कम हो गई है देन उसके अंदर वो सबस्ट्रेट परकुलेट नहीं कर पाएगा, फिर हम रिएक्शन कैसे कर पाएंगे। Although the use of standard Merrifield resin on a larger scale is feasible in spite of this drawback, it would be a huge advantage from a process chemistry point of view if non-toxic solvents such as water and ethanol could be used. वो कहते हैं मैरीफील्ड ने जो रेजन यूज़ किया था दैट वाज क्रॉस लिंक्ड पोलीस्टाइरीन, दैट वाज क्रॉस लिंक्ड विद द क्लोरोमिथाइल पोलीस्टाइरीन एंड वो जो है इन सब ड्रॉबैक्स के बावजूद उसको यूज़ करना बहुत जो है वो एक फिजिबल है, especially when the water and ethanol are used as solvent. Here are the list of some reasons that are used for the solid phase synthesis. In fact, these are the reasons especially used for the solid phase synthesis of peptides. Chloro or aminomethyl polystyrene, as I have discussed, this was used by the Merrifield. Its composition is 1% divinyl benzene cross-linked with polystyrene. Here is its functional group given, while the other is tantagel. Its composition is polystyrene polyethylene glycol, grafted polymer है, ये graft polymers भी आपने पढ़े होंगे। Below are given the structures of these polymers or resins. You can see their structures. Here again the PEGA polyethylene glycolamine. This is bis 2 acrylamide prop 1-yl PEG and 2 acrylamide propyl 1-yl 2 amino prop 1-yl PEG dimethyl acrylamide copolymer. ये इन सबका एक कोपोलीमर है इन दोनों मॉलिक्यूल्स का। एंड फोर्थ वन इज द नोवा जेल. Here below its structure is also given. Nova gel is 4-ortho-methyl polyethylene glycoxycarbonyl aminomethyl polystyrene. While next is given its basic structure. While these are the commonly used resins for the peptide synthesis based on the organic solid phase synthesis. While after resins, the linkers also play very important role, as I have already told you that linkers are the provide a reversible link between the polymeric resins and the substrate molecules. Sometimes directly substrate molecule को directly जो फर्स्ट सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल है उसको सॉलिड स्पोर्ट के ऊपर अटैच करना फिजिबल नहीं होता। उसके लिए हमें बीच में कोई ऐसा इंटरमीडिएट टाइप कोई लिंकर ऐड करना पड़ता है जो लिंक करता है अमाइनो एसिड को और सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल को विद द सॉलिड सपोर्ट। उसके लिए एंड दिस इज अ रिवर्सिबल लिंकेज upon the completion of the reaction, that linker can be cleaved by using the trifluoroacetic acid, and it will release the peptide chain or the whatever the target molecule was. Here is the list of some linkers commonly used in solid support synthesis, which are hydroxymethyl based linkers and aminomethyl based linkers and ट्राइटाइल क्लोराइड बेस्ड लिंकर्स। अब इसमें आप देख सकते हैं ये इनके डिफरेंट स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं जो कि कॉमनली यूज हो रहे हैं। वैंग लिंकर है, सेस्ट्रिन लिंकर है, HMBA लिंकर, रिंक एसिड लिंकर है, रिंक लिंकर है, पॉल लिंकर है, साइबर लिंकर है, एंड ट्राइटाइल क्लोराइड बेस्ड लिंकर्स में 2-chloro ट्राइटाइल क्लोराइड एंड bears 4-carboxy trityl linker है। बेटा these are the commonly used linkers which are used in solid support organic synthesis. Disadvantages of solid phase organic synthesis relative to the solution phase solution synthesis. Here the additional reaction steps for the linkage to and cleavage from the support are required. Definitely there are different steps which involve the attachment of the polymeric resin or the support to the substrate takes place, while the support and linker may limit the range of possible chemistry, heterogeneity, solvation problems. Actually it depends on the nature of the support and the linker, that for specific type of substrate there are specific linkers or supports are required. So this is a limitation of this technique. As this is a relatively new technique, therefore expensive in terms of development time and scale up to produce large quantities of product impractical and is expensive. In this technique, methods for analytical monitoring of reactions are not well developed, especially the real time of the reaction are not these are defined in this type of technology, a technique of organic synthesis. Here I am again going to wind up my lecture by repeating all the lecture. बेटे सॉलिड सपोर्ट सिंथेसिस में क्या होता है, कोई भी सबस्ट्रेट हम सबसे पहले एक रेजन लेते हैं जो कि क्रॉस लिंक्ड रेजन है। वो बेसिकली पॉलीस्टाइरीन क्रॉस लिंक्ड विद सम अदर मॉलिक्यूल्स, या आज अब लेटेस्ट तो और भी बहुत सारे रेजन्स आ चुके हैं, वो हम लेते हैं। उसके ऊपर हम अपना सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल को अटैच करते हैं, दैट इज अटैच्ड कोवैलेंटली। वो आके अटैच हो जाता है और उसको हम जिस भी सॉल्वेंट में हमने रिएक्शन करना है उस सॉल्वेंट में जब उसको डालते हैं वो रेजन स्वेल हो जाता है। स्वेल होके वो सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल उस रेजन के अंदर, बल्कि वो रेजन हम इन द फॉर्म ऑफ बीड यूज करते हैं, जैसे छोटा सा बीड होता है, वो सबस्ट्रेट आके उस बीड या रेजन के अंदर डिफ्यूज हो जाता है। वो क्यों हो जाता है? क्योंकि उसके अंदर रिएक्शन साइट्स अवेलेबल होती हैं। अब जैसे ही वो सबस्ट्रेट आके डिफ्यूज हो जाता है, उस सबस्ट्रेट के अंदर एक बात याद रखनी है, दो तरह के फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स, दो साइड्स पे फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स अवेलेबल होने चाहिए। एक साइड का फंक्शनल ग्रुप रिएक्ट करेगा विद द सॉलिड सपोर्ट और दूसरी साइड का जो फंक्शनल ग्रुप है वो सिंथेसिस में एक्ट करेगा। अब जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल हम मिसाल ले लेते हैं एक अमीनो एसिड की। अमाइनो एसिड का जो कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड वाला एंड है वो सबस्ट्रेट के सॉलिड सपोर्ट के ऊपर आके कोवेलेंटली बाउंड हो जाएगा कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड वाली साइड, जबकि जो अमाइनो ग्रुप वाली साइड है दैट इज आल्सो प्रोटेक्टेड विद स्पेसिफिक प्रोटेक्टिंग ग्रुप, वो भी प्रोटेक्टेड है, इधर से कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड एंड वाला एंड भी प्रोटेक्टेड है, दोनों एंड प्रोटेक्ट हो गए। अब वो जो सॉलिड सपोर्ट है रेजन है वो स्वेल हो गया, मॉलिक्यूल उसके अंदर डिफ्यूज कर गया। अब यहाँ पे दूसरा सबस्ट्रेट मॉलिक्यूल रिएक्ट करने के लिए आएगा, उसके रिएक्शन से पहले जो अमाइनो ग्रुप प्रोटेक्ट किया गया था उसकी प्रोटेक्शन रिमूव हो जाएगी। वो प्रोटेक्शन रिमूव होने के बाद दूसरा अमाइनो एसिड उसके साथ रिएक्ट करेगा और एक पेप्टाइड बॉन्ड बन जाएगा। इसी तरह से और दूसरे अमाइनो एसिड का कौन सा एंड रिएक्ट करेगा, दूसरे अमाइनो एसिड का कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड वाला एंड आके उस पहले अमाइनो एसिड के NH2 के साथ बाउंड होगा, बॉन्ड बनाएगा, जबकि सेकेंड अमाइनो एसिड का NH2 ग्रुप भी प्रोटेक्टेड है। जैसे ही तीसरा अमाइनो एसिड आएगा, तीसरे अमाइनो एसिड का कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड ग्रुप आएगा, आके सेकेंड अमाइनो एसिड के NH2 के साथ रिएक्ट करने लगेगा, तो उस सेकेंड अमाइनो एसिड के NH2 की प्रोटेक्शन भी रिमूव हो जाएगी। इस तरह स्टेप बाय स्टेप NH2 प्रोटेक्टेड आएगा, जैसे ही नेक्स्ट अमाइनो एसिड उसके साथ रिएक्ट करेगा उसकी प्रोटेक्शन रिमूव होगी, प्रोटेक्टिंग ग्रुप रिमूव होगा, और रिमूव होने के बाद वो आके उसका जो कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड वाली साइड है वो अमाइड लिंकेज बना देगा। इस तरह स्टेप बाय स्टेप एक लॉन्ग चेन बनती चली जाएगी। Now this was and I have also discussed about the resins and linkers which play very important role during solid support synthesis. This was all about the introduction and basic principles of the solid support synthesis. Now students, you are supposed to read about the solid phase synthesis of deoxyribonucleic acid DNA and ribonucleic acid RNA. If you find any question, you can ask me in the Google Classroom. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.